Hey everyone, Luke here and welcome back to Sit and Talk. This is the video series where I just sit down, talk about whatever I feel like talking about, day-to-day life stuff, characters from anime, manga, or just anything in general, or any other projects that I'm working on which I feel like need to be talked about, or just projects that I've done in the past, considering I do acting as well, and also I work with Youth Theatre Group, although given where we are right now, that's kind of on the back burner for the moment, but for now I want to again talk about my book, The One For Me, but more importantly I want to talk about the other two books in the series, The Right One For Me and The Only One For Me, and that'll close out the entire trilogy. Maybe I'll go back to it eventually and do short stories, but nope, it's just going to be just a trilogy. That's all it's going to be. It wasn't really meant to be a trilogy at first, but I've turned it into a trilogy and I'm sticking with it. I'm well past the halfway point on the right one for me. So hopefully by June of next year, that's when the book will actually be finished, the first draft, then obviously doing the editing before it actually gets published. Now I'm going to be doing two more videos on this one included, so there'll be this one and then the next one after that, basically talk about what my plans are for the future after the trilogy. So this will be generally the last video talking about the trilogy as a whole, and I figured that I might as well just get these videos done as soon as possible, and I figured why not be a good time to talk about this, considering in the dead of night. And if you've seen the thumbnail for this video, you know exactly what it's going to be about. Also, I like just doing these general vloggy type videos just to give me something else to talk about rather than talk about Dr. Stone all the time, and also doing the otaku introduction videos. I feel like that's actually gonna be that's actually something that I can really delve into as well. And I did say that I might do the an otaku's impression videos, but I figured, like, rather than just making that a separate series, I might as well just talk about that as sort of like an otaku introduction, because it's like giving my impressions on the series as well, as a whole as well. So they'll be combined into one, so there'll be 4 major series from now on that I'm going to be doing. There'll be the sit and talk videos, which is one that I'm doing right now, the otaku introduction, the reviews, and the what's the difference, which will be coming back in the new year once Promise Neverland and Dr. Stone have their runs. And also we're getting Chainsaw Man, which thank God we finally get to talk about that series. And actually, you know what? There will be a new series coming revolving around Chainsaw Man, because this came about as a joke, but I figured, like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna tell you what the series is yet. I might do it basically after the next few videos in a sit and talk video, where I'm just gonna say it as it is. And like I said, these videos, they're not going to be overly long or overly complicated videos. They're just going to be me sitting and talking. But let's just get into what I want to talk about in regards to the One For Me trilogy. Now, as I said briefly, if you've seen the thumbnail for this video and if you've seen the title of this video, you know what it's all about. But I'm just going to come out and say, yes, at the end of The Right One For Me, well, basically this will be what the plans are for the next 2 books. So basically, at the end of The Right One For Me, one of the major characters, in fact one of the main characters, is going to die. And this is not like a character that's like, oh, they're a main character of only this part of the story. No, they are a central character to the series. I'm not going to say who it is, because that is a massive spoiler, but yeah, one of the major main lead central characters, whatever you're going to call them, is going to die at the end of The Right One For Me. Now, why did I come to this conclusion? Because I feel like after carefully going through all the characters, like, I have the list of the major players of the series, like the main ones, like when you think, oh, this is what the series is about, you think of those characters. I went down the list and figured, like, okay, who would be the most sensible to die at this point in the story? Because at the end of the day, I want to add a sense of realism to the story, and I feel like death is just a natural part of life, and also it would actually give grandioser to the villain of the entire trilogy as a whole, because even after this book, their story is not complete. They're going to be in the last book, and it's going to lead some really intense moments, because they're the ones that are actually going to kill the character, and just by adding that little bit of extra oomph to it will help to generate more hatred and more like disdain between the main villain and the main protagonists of the series itself. Now, again, why did I come to this conclusion? Because I feel like after carefully looking through all the characters, I feel like their story is complete by the end of the right one for me. I feel like giving them a proper send off and a proper like goodbye to the character, because again, their story is pretty much done, and having them in the third book, I'll be sitting there like, I don't really know, like literally going through the book and going through the lineup, I was like, this character, I just don't know what to do with them in the third book if they are to survive. And I just felt like death seemed like the natural order of death seemed like the natural next step for their character, not just for their character but for all the characters around them, because they pretty much are a central gluing figure that holds all the characters together. And if I was to take away that character, then it just makes the most sense for them. So yes, their character is going to die, not because I'm cruel, but because it's going to be a central theme to the overriding story of the third one. Because again, they pretty much keep the characters, like they cling everyone together, and to take them away, it not only affects their family, but it not only affects them and their like key family, but it also affects everyone around them, and it just breaks away that central theme of keeping a family and keeping that clear unit together. And to take that away will just greatly affect them in every way. Now, as I was saying, yes, it will affect all the characters in some way. They're definitely in the third book, but also as well, the main theme of the second one is just finding who to trust and who to get by. And I might as well just say what the plot of the second one is. And even though I've probably said this in other videos, the plot of the second one basically revolves around the characters of Amanda Quinton and Maisie Compton basically adopting. That's like the main theme of the main storyline of the second one is basically them adopting a child and basically becoming parents for the first time, and how that affects everyone around them, because it's a whole new experience for not just them but also for a close-knit family, because now they're getting a family of their own, and how they're gonna keep this family unit together. And that one character that's going to die, taking them away, it just basically destroys everyone. And also appropriately moves into Anthony's story, Anthony Quinton, which is Amanda and Isaac's brother. He's the main character of the third and final book, and to see just that central figure break away, it will just affect him and affect his relationship with not just his wife but also his daughter in the third one, and how that will affect their relationships with the other characters. And that character dying will affect the relationship with other characters that are outside this big family unit that's been built up. And like I said, the main villain, that's just the icing on the cake for their character. Like, they just live to cause destruction. That's basically what they are. And that's another thing. The third book, they are going to meet their end. The third and final book, the villain is going to die. And you know what? I might as well just say it. Right now how they're going to die. So yeah, writing the book series and getting into writing the right one for me, I figured like, okay, I've brought this villain back from the first one, because in the first one they're a minor character. That's basically what they are. But in the second and third one, they basically become the main antagonist. So basically, they're the main villain of the entire series, and their character is just someone who just causes destruction wherever they go, just because it's what they live for. It's what they crave for. Almost as if like they almost get like a Ahsoka vibe of it. Like, if anyone's seen Hunter x Hunter, I know Red's seen Hunter x Hunter. Like, basically it to them, causing pain, misery, and destruction is basically like just like having an orgasm to them. There's no other way to put it. It's basically like Hisoka and Alex from A Clockwork Orange just like melded together, had a child, and that was them. And also the way they're going to die, that took a lot of time for me to actually figure out. Like, okay, I need to get rid of this character, and I figured like sending them to prison after doing the killing. I figured that's just not good enough. That's just not good enough for me, especially since they are just like the mastermind of everything in the second and third one, because it's basically because of them some characters from the first book that just disappear come back in the third one. So like all the books, they all are just like this massive puzzle piece of just like telling the story of this family and of their friends around them. But yeah, and the villain just like encapsulates all of that, because by the second book there's like some hints of them having some connections to characters that are in the first book and who come back into play in the finale itself. And I'm very happy that I did that, because the characters that do come back into play in the third book, they were key figures in the first one, but I decided like, okay, I'm going to leave them out for the majority of the second one, but by the end of it they're going to be coming back full range. And like I said, the way the villain dies, that took a really long time for me to actually figure out, like, okay, how do I kill this character off? I could send them to prison and just have them be in there, but then the more I thought about it, the more like, that's just not enough for me, and I don't feel it will be enough for the character. So by the epilogue of the second one, which takes place 2 years after the events of the majority of the second one, they're going to be out of prison. They're going to be on the run. I'm probably going to have to have a flashback in the third one to explain how they escaped. But yeah, basically in the third one, they're completely on the run in the shadows, just maneuvering and manipulating everything. That's the way they're going to go. And by the end of the third one, I figured this out right away. And the moment that worked, I was just like, oh my god, that's just so cruel, but it's something they would actually do. Okay, so picture this: they're on a bridge and they jump off it, but one of the main protagonists actually catches them, but they smile and they're like, I've got you. And then they're like, the main villain's like smiling at them and smirking and just being such a sick person, just being like, now you've done it. Now that you're trying to save me, I can just let go right now, and then you'll have that conscience on your soul, because in a way you would have killed me. And then they just let go, and they let a train basically kill them. So they've left a train of destruction, symbolism, basically. And also as well, it will kind of get one of those main protagonists like twist. It will make them feel like they are guilty, because even though they were trying to save them, the main villain actually lets go, and in a way they kind of like get it twisted in their head that they were part of the reason that death was actually caused, and they will always have that on their conscience. So in a way, the villain will always have a dark cloud over this family for the rest of their lives. And that's kind of the way I want to take the villain out, by basically giving them a way of, in a way, they kind of actually win in the end. And that's the way I want to get the villain out. Like they've lost, but at the same time they've kind of won. So yeah, that's basically how the villain is going to go out. So yeah, in a way, the series will kind of end on a it will end on a positive note. That's what I'm going to say. But at the same time, they'll always have that lingering dark cloud over them. But at the same time, I feel like the characters at the end of the day will take the death of the villain as sort of like, okay, we kind of need to learn to not get involved with people like that from now on, and kind of learn from the fact that don't let the fact that just because people are kind of like toying with you and wanting you to get worked up by them, you shouldn't let them, and just focus on your family and just ignore people that are just trying to worm their way, just trying to manipulate you and just threaten you in every single way. So I feel like it will end on a positive note, but at the same time you'll always have that dark cloud lingering over them, and that's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing I want to give by ending the series that way, because in a way I do want to end it on a positive note, but at the same time just always have it in the back of your head that you've always got that dark cloud looming over you, because in a way that's kind of real life. That's kind of like how I've experienced, because I've experienced situations like that where I've, like, even though I'm in a positive position right now, there's always things that I look back on and think like I've still got that dark cloud over my head of the fact that that happened to me, and it was really tragic and really horrific event in my life. But at the same time, I'm glad that cloud is over me, because it knows that no matter how much I think about that cloud, of misery, I'm always gonna have it there as a reminder of the fact to not go through that experience again. I kind of want to take that away from the series, give that into the series as well as a whole. I know this video is kind of a bit of scattershot, but hey, that's what these videos are. They're meant to be like just talking to the camera and just giving my general opinions about things in my life, or characters, or books, or whatever I want. Like I said, it's just a sit and talk video. But anyway, going back more to the plot of the second one as well, and the second one as well is that it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride for not just Maisie and Amanda, but also for their families as well. Because, like I said, they've all got their own everyone around them have got their own families and their own problems to be dealing with, and I kind of bring that into kind of like have those stories crossing paths all the time. And yeah, we'll see where it goes, because obviously I can't spoil a lot about the second one because it's not even completed yet. But I just wanted to give that little tiny thing of the fact that one of the main characters is going to die in the second one, at the end of the second one, because like I said, I feel like their story is actually done, and that's kind of like what I wanted to make this video. But it kind of went a bit off on a bit of tangents, but hey, who doesn't love a lot of tangents? So once again, like I said, after this video I'm going to be doing one more video on my books, but it won't be on the trilogy itself. It'll be on what is next for me, because there are two books after the only one for me, which is going to be the third and final book in the trilogy. The only one for me. There are two books that I want to write, that I've been clinging to for so many years, but I've got them written down in my notes, and everything, so I know how those stories are going to end up. So yeah, in the next video we're going to be talking about them. So for now, this will be Lasher Luke signing off. Later, guys.